Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the Empowering Diversity session with Kelly and Alvin. We've got our disclaimer slide, so if you haven't read that yet, you can go ahead and do so here. But thank you for being here, and I'll go ahead and hand it off to the team so they can get introductions out of the way, and we'll dive right in.
All right, thank you. So again, thank you, Ashley, for the wonderful introduction. So you're in Empowering Diversity, Developing Opportunities in the Tech Space. If you're expecting something else, now's the time to leave. But you won't want to, because we have a fabulous presentation coming up here. So
I'm Alvin, Interim CIO at Mesa Community College and lead tech analyst for our tech division. We've been doing Jamf for almost 8 years, and we are excited to be here.
Awesome. So next on the list, Valaria Cheetah. I am not her. Unfortunately, Valaria is not able to join us in person for JNUC this year, but Valaria is an incredibly important part of the Jamf Community Education Initiatives Department. So she focuses on our domestic hubs in Minnesota, and she's always going on-site with our facilitators, ensuring that they are utilizing the technology-enabled active learning model and making sure that they have everything that they need. And then there's me. I'm Kelly Watkins-Conrad. My role is the Jamf School Administrator for all of our locations globally. And anything under the tech umbrella also falls under my realm. So that includes working with our unified networks, doing the Jamf 100 and 170 trainings for our students at the Matter Career Readiness Institute, and anything else that comes up for developing our technical curriculum for the Matter Career Readiness Institute. So we have an incredible agenda here for you today, starting off with talking about what Alvin's doing at Mesa Community College. And at this time, I'd like to step aside and let him talk a little bit about what they're doing there.
Well, thank you everyone for coming. Mesa Community College is a community college and a consortium of community colleges in Arizona. We are the largest community college in that system, and we have the opportunity to partner with Jamf to do something pretty amazing. So this picture is in our Jamf our art department's digital art room. This room is important because the gentleman on the far left, his name is Madison Rogers. Madison Rogers is the blueprint of what we at Mesa are going to be doing in the fall, and actually next week, starting the process of teaching the Jamf 200 course as an 8-week course instead of a 4-day course, which is mind-blowing because prior to this, all of us who are all Jamf certified all had to go through the boot camp and attempt to go through that certification in 4 days. Well, the problem with that is students can't do that. They don't have the opportunity, and most of them don't have the resources to pay for the money to go through the Jamf certification course. Well, now, it's now FAFSA eligible and available for students to take those classes in a digestible chunk, allowing for us to get them into the workforce faster. So let me go over what this kind of means. Now, everyone here works in higher ed, yes? Raise a hand. Yeah. Fantastic. How many of you have problems getting new talent into your workforce? I do. It's nearly impossible. When I lose a person, I have to find another person who's willing to take higher education IT pay to then come and learn and work with my great organization and to serve the mission of teaching and learning. Well, every day as a CIO, I get asked the same question. Hey, Alvin, I'm going to get this certification. How do I get into your industry? And my statement is always the same. Well, you're going to have to find someone to take you in as an intern and then get you an opportunity. You'll have to work in from the bottom. The problem is, if that person doesn't have an in, where are you? Waiting for an opportunity, trying to get a job in the IT space where you want to be. IT is very different. It's chicken or the egg. The problem is, if you don't have a way in, you're always looking for the circle, and it may take you 2 years to get into the market. Madison is not unique in my instance because I have 9 people that have gone through what we would call the Mesa pre-version of Jamf 200 to then become Jamf administrators. Well, after going through that proof of concept with Jamf, they are allowing us to teach that class. And that class has an internship on the back end, which gives the student real live experience in a production Jamf instance to then put on the resume, so when they go to apply for that job, it's not, hey, take a chance. No, I've already shown people that I know what I'm doing. Now you can hire me. Now I'm employable. So this is functionally changing the trajectory of students who want to have IT careers, especially IT careers based in Apple technologies. Prior to that, it's pretty common to have a student get their certification in what other IT market they want, be not in that market for a year and a half, and then finally get an opportunity. With Jamf's help, we're trying to close that gap down from years to months. So we're going to be able to put first-generation students in the position to be IT people sooner rather than later. So here are some of the key aspects of the program. We're going through an 8-week course, provisioning, identity management, password sync, zero-touch deployment, and app lifecycle management. We're doing that instead of, again, in 4 days and 8 hours a day, 8 weeks, 2 hours twice a week. The cool part about the second half of this, and I didn't put this on the slide and I should have, is once these students complete their certification pathway, when the internship starts, we get to deep dive into every single one of these subjects, having them go through the process that they just learned, they just got certified on, and then do it over and over again so it becomes second nature. So whenever they walk into that next opportunity, they've got it nailed. It's not, oh, I remember this and got certified in it. It's, I remembered it, I got certified in it, and I know it like the back of my hand. These are the next group of Jamf interns. They will be taking the Jamf certification class, and the cool part, just like Madison, all of these students work for the art department. They're all art students taking digital art and programming classes. What we found in our segment is it was a real nice pathway into IT work because they already understand coding to a degree because they're doing Python, they're doing Java. That was a very easy transition into Z Shell and other layers of making Python programs. If you remember the picture before, which had Madison in it, one of the quick stories I'll tell you about the project that Madison did in his internship. We had decided, and it was right after Big Sur, that we wanted to be more creative with our login backgrounds. So I gave the group, a group similar to this, all our students working in the print lab, I gave them a task. I said, okay, we've all gone through the Jamf 200 basics. We've gone through the Jamf 300 basics. We know how the product works. I want you to create a process where we're changing the login background every day, and I want the login picture to match the size of the screen. Now, that was back before the login window did it itself. They used Python and a pip module to create a process that did that every day. No matter which device you were on, iMac, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, 27-inch iMac, it all worked. That was the power of taking students, giving them an opportunity with some instruction in the field, and making it so they could do things that were basically like an IT person. Madison did it. These are the next group to do it. And as you can see, this is a diverse group. The person in the middle, prior to this program, has never touched a Mac before. This person in the middle, after the first 4 weeks of the pre-internship, which working for the art department, they get pre-internship step with me, taught an iOS class for our I Belong onboarding this fall. These technologies are so transformable that we are taking people that want in and giving them a pathway in and making it so by this time next year, she will probably have a career in IT. One of the other things that's really important is diversity. And as some of us have been through IT for a long time, IT is not the most diverse field on the planet. It's just not. There's not a lot of color, there's not a lot of women. That is something, if you saw that picture, I focused on changing, because I think when we have diversity, we have equity, we have power, we have the ability to have multiple perspectives, and when people look in the area and see that people that look like them, they feel like they have a chance. And that's something that I think is highly important in higher ed, and Jamf has been a really valuable partner in this work. Inclusion matters. We're driving innovation, and we're seizing the opportunities that are coming in front of us because Jamf is giving us an opportunity, and we've taken that. In fact, the class starts next week. I'm so incredibly excited. It's something that we are driving skills that are going to make students successful. And one of the things that the Jamf people heard me say, and I'll say it to you, we are changing the trajectory of lives for people that didn't believe they have any trajectory. If you didn't get a chance to watch my presentation last year, that same student I talked about on stage is going into his 4th semester at MCC, and like him, these students, like the ones you saw in the picture, all believe that they'll be in IT in the next year, and I believe it too. One of the other parts that is, again, really important is having a tech-driven career, because if that's where you want to be, you want to start there, you want to continue on the learning pathway there, and you want to eventually be in that higher level. Again, as I said before, with IT, it's the chicken and the egg. You get the certifications, how do you get a job? You have to have experience. Well, we're going to hopefully solve that problem. And we won't be the first one. We're going to be the first. We won't be the last. And any of the higher ed institutions that are here, if you're interested in copying the program, please come see me afterwards. I will give you all the details. Once we get the go-ahead from Jamf, I think they're looking to expand this because, again, it is an opportunity to get more qualified people in the workforce. And as John said earlier in his keynote, and if you watched the keynote last year, Apple technology is growing in enterprise. There are dozens upon dozens upon dozens of jobs that are unfilled because there are not qualified people to fill them. And our job as educators is to help fill that gap. Oh, what I just said. So I'm going to turn the stage over to Kelly because she can come back up here. Where did she go?
I'm behind you.
Well, you don't know. Hi.
Nice job, Alvin.
Thank you.
All right. What an incredible program that Mesa Community College has. I would love to see programs like that all across the world. But what if we take a step back? So Alvin is talking about at the collegiate level, but what if we could reach these students before they even start thinking about college? And that's when I wanted to talk about Valaria's section about the St. James Matter Innovation Hub. And before I kind of get into that hub specifically, I want to just lay the groundwork on what is expected of all of our hubs. All of our hubs are very purposeful, and we want to ensure that our hubs are reflecting the diverse workforce that we have. So we are very focused on these pieces here. When it comes to diversity, we need to make sure that everyone is welcome regardless of their background. And specifically, we need to make sure that we have at least 50% women at every single location. And that was even the case for our Afghanistan location until the Taliban took over. Equity. We need to make sure that everyone, regardless of opportunity, is welcome here. So we purposely choose locations for our innovation hubs where they want to do this, but they simply don't have access to it or don't have the opportunity to do so. We need to make sure that we're targeting those communities. The next piece, we need to make sure that everyone, regardless of their gender, orientation, or ability, is welcome in our hubs. And we make sure that every single hub in every location is accessible. And in fact, one of our schools in Zimbabwe, King George VI, 80% of our students have some sort of physical disability. So it's incredibly important that we make sure that our students can get into the hub, but then Apple does a fantastic job with their accessibility features to ensure that our students can use all of the devices without any sort of roadblocker there. And the last piece, we need to make sure that everyone feels welcome in these spaces. And this goes for all of our hubs around the world, our Matter Career Readiness Institute, and it extends to Jamf ourselves. So we need to make sure that these expectations are clear and enforced from the very beginning, and our students and facilitators do a really great job doing these every single day and practicing. So, specifically about our St. James Innovation Hub, you might be asking, why did we exactly pick this particular location in Minnesota? And the reason is because of a man named Dean Hager. Now, some of you may not recognize that name. Dean was our previous CEO here at Jamf, and he was actually born in St. James, Minnesota. And he's told this story a few times about when he was growing up, he fully expected that he would just be driving truck. He didn't even dream that he might have ended up where he actually did. So it was really important for him that he was able to give back to his community there to ensure that anyone has the ability to grow into the tech space as much as he did. So with a population of less than 5,000 people, a very large agricultural town that is mostly Hispanic, we need to make sure that we can reach those students. So this Innovation Hub started in their middle school in 2001. And when we were putting together this program, we were asking ourselves, how do we create readiness? Well, there are a few different ways that we do this. The first way is by utilizing Apple's Everyone Can Create program. And if you haven't had a chance to look at this yourself, I highly recommend doing so. It's fantastic. So this allows our students to be really creative with their thinking and the presentation of their ideas. So if we have some students that want to express their ideas by drawing, or maybe they want to make a movie, but they just don't know how to do that, we need to help and instruct our students on how they can utilize these tools to do exactly what they're trying to do. But then we go a step further. We also utilize Apple's Everyone Can Code curriculum, and that includes the Swift Playgrounds Learn to Code 1 and 2 and Blues Adventure. Then, as they continue on, our older students will actually start using Xcode on their MacBooks a little bit later on. But we can't forget some of our most favorite pieces that are beloved everywhere in all of our innovation hubs, and that includes our Sphero bolts and our Osmo kits. We utilize these tools to supplement our other lessons that we do in our hubs, and these tools are fantastic because they're really adaptable on many different levels of learning, and they can be individualized, which is a major part of our program. When it comes to creating readiness, we have developed 5 essential skills that we expect our students to have learned by the end of our program. The first, being able to utilize critical thinking. Really important for these students to get practice with that. The next piece, we need them to be able to problem solve. And we've been seeing this more and more with our younger students that it's a little tricky for them to start problem solving. So we need them to be able to start practicing that. The next piece, we need them to utilize creativity. There may not be one easy path to a solution. We need them to think creatively, kind of going in line with problem solving and critical thinking. Leadership. Really important that we give these students the ability to grow and have opportunities to lead in the classroom. And personal agency, which means that they're able to control their own behaviors and reactions to circumstances outside of their control. Now, I can't imagine why that would be relevant in IT because everything is perfect all the time, but that is something that we also want to encourage in our hubs. And basically, all of these together is causing our students to build their confidence to believe in themselves. The next piece, Teal Plus. You might be wondering, well, what does that stand for? Teal Plus is technology-enabled active learning, and the plus is individualized learning. And there are also 5 key components to being successful in the Teal Plus model that we utilize in all of our locations. The first piece, being able to have a physical to digital connection. And the Sphero and the Osmo that I talked about do this natively, and it's so great. So we love to utilize those tools for the physical to digital connection. We also need to make sure that everything is adaptive in both difficulty and accessibility. We also need to make sure that what we're doing is self-paced. So we need to make sure that we're not applying limits based on previous performance. We may have some students that really are flying through certain lessons, and we don't want to hold them back because we don't want them to be bored. But we might have some students that need a little bit more time to master a specific topic, and we want to make sure that we can give them that time. The next piece, prompts and hints, specifically for the adults. because adults are really bad about not telling students the exact solution on how to do something. So we really have to have our facilitators practice. Give a hint. Don't tell them how to do something, because again, when you think back about those essential readiness skills, we need them to problem solve. We need them to be critical thinkers. And simply telling students exactly what they need to do is not doing any of that. So we need to make sure we're giving students the opportunity to try things and fail a lot, but the good kind of failure where they learn from it and grow. And then we need our facilitators to also give feedback. So they need to let our students know when they're doing something really well. We need them to showcase that to other students and allow them to gain that confidence that they are on the right path. So with St. James, when this program started, it started off as an extracurricular activity where people could just kind of drop in whenever they wanted to. And it wasn't really successful the first year. There was only 2 seniors that actually showed up consistently. So our facilitator expanded her reach through her advisory groups, and as of this year, they're excited to announce that they officially have a class course at St. James High School focused on coding. And they have 28 students that are actually enrolled in that course. So they're very excited that the district has seen the value that is being brought and has now made it a part of the official curriculum there. But what's next for these students? Well, when we first started this program, we offered a scholarship for any students that were interested in pursuing a career in computer science, and nobody applied. But as of today, we have now given out 5 scholarships to students that are now pursuing careers within the computer science department. And my coworker Valeria, wonderful picture along our facilitator Amanda, has been participating in career fairs at St. James High School, just to kind of inform students of the possibilities in the tech careers and how maybe they could fit into multiple different segments there. So showing that these dreams are something that students can actually achieve, maybe broadening what they thought was possible. So we've talked about what's happening at the K-12 level with St. James and what's happening at the collegiate level with Mesa Community College. But what if we could put both of those together? What would that look like? And for those of you who had the opportunity to attend the education keynote with Tsitsi, she had talked about the Matter Career Readiness Institute, where we're doing just that. So we have put together a kinder to career program where the end result is currently 2 hired full-time software engineers. And we just found out this morning, actually, that we have 2 more that were just committed to being hired by November 1st in the software engineering department. And we have 2 interns with our customer support department, all working remotely in Zimbabwe. So let's talk about being the first step with our primary schools. So just like every hub, we utilize the Teal Plus model, and we have a DEIB focus, of course. The one difference with the hubs in Zimbabwe is that we use an application that was custom made called AppCat. And that allows our facilitators to match specific applications in our Jamf school app catalog to different ICT standards for Zimbabwe, something that we've been utilizing and improving on. But going a little bit deeper and a little bit further, we're really working with these students to help with their collaboration, leadership skills, and we need to make sure that what we're doing is student-centric and that our facilitators are there to help lead discussion while giving opportunities for our students to problem solve and help our kids think critically and, of course, fail, 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 but learn from it. So they're starting these skills right at the beginning of their educational career. And so now that they've gone through primary school, what happens when they get into secondary school? Doesn't stop there. We've continued to build on those skills that they learned in the primary school. But now we start adding in Apple's Swift development program, which of course includes Loader Code 1 and 2 and Blues Adventure. And then we really, really focus in on those essential skills to help work on their English, to make sure that they're speaking slowly and clearly. Sometimes, as Tsitsi knows, our students get really excited and sometimes we need to have them slow down a little bit. And then working together to make sure that we are building students that are humble, that work together as a team, basically making sure that we are creating students that you'd want to work with in the future. And so by this stage, our students are complete pros at utilizing the Teal Plus model. And then our top students at all of our locations in Zimbabwe have the ability to apply for our Matter Career Readiness Institute. and that's also known as the MCRI because it's way easier to say. In this picture here are the 10 newest students that we have in our hub, and they are just incredible. We've had a few people that have had the opportunity to come and visit us, and I think they would agree when I say that these students are something really, really special. And these students have been in the hubs for their entire educational career. So they've completed the Swift fundamentals, Swift explorations, and they're going to be completing data collections through Apple's Swift program. They've also completed the fundamentals program that I've helped build along with Dave Saltmarsh and Valeria Chida, as well as additional workshops that some Jamfs have come down to provide in person. So Jamf is a founding partner of this program here, and our goal is to get qualified individuals hired working remotely in Zimbabwe. So we want to bring the growth and economic benefits back to the community by having our employees actually staying in country and working remotely there. So we're building incredible candidates from the very beginning of their educational career that go on to be engaged citizens in their community. And even if they aren't necessarily hired by Jamf or one of our program partners, they still get to carry these skills of highly desired, to be a highly desired applicant with tons of room for growth for really any company looking for a qualified Apple administrator. So this is just kind of an overview of the program that we've built. And this program is always changing, so this isn't actually completely accurate even today. So we always need to make sure that we are being focused on our students and what the needs are of the hiring companies. But what's still true here is that we need to make sure our students have a really good base before we can recommend them for an internship at a company like Jamf. So our students must have taken the Swift Associate exam and passed it. Right now, I think we have 7 or 8 students that have passed out of 10. That are already at that level just since April, since they've started. And no matter what, every student will be a Jamf certified tech. All of them have passed their Jamf 100 as of today. And they're going to receive their app development with Swift Associate certificate. So we're creating well-rounded future employees with a serious skill set that makes them an incredible candidate for employment, not only at Jamf, but partner companies and really any company globally. And these two are Tendai and Terrence. They are the first to be hired by Jamf as full-time software engineers. Right? Super exciting. And so, and now we have a few others that will be following in their path here soon. But this quote by Tendai, making the impossible possible, and Alvin even kind of touched on this a little bit in his section as well. She was in a video talking about how just a few years ago, she didn't expect that she would be where she is today. There's a 70% unemployment rate, or 75, I think, unemployment rate in Zimbabwe right now. And for a lot of these students, once they graduate secondary school, you either are working in the tourism industry, you're leaving Zimbabwe to get work elsewhere, or you might be kind of a self-employed, working, selling fruit or other kind of simple things on the side of the road. She didn't even think that this was even an option for her. And now we have this wonderful Career Readiness Institute here, and suddenly the possibilities have blossomed for these students. And so her story is really amazing. She's a wonderful person. And so they're the first, but they are definitely not the last. And in fact, so we have Marvelous on the end, Tsitsi in the middle. Tsitsi is not our student, she is right here. Oversees our programming in Zimbabwe, and then Hazel. So they started as software engineering interns at Jamf, and as of this morning, so you're getting hot off the presses, they are starting full-time at Jamf November 1st. So yes, congratulations to Marvelous and Hazel. We are so excited to have them working for Jamf in Zimbabwe. And we have a few others too. So Brock and Maria, my Jamf coworkers, had the opportunity to come and visit the MCRI a few months ago. And the whole purpose was to get their buy-in from Jamf customer support to get interest in taking some of our interns. So they're sitting here with Taku and Shanti, who have been interns with Jamf support for a few months now, and we're hoping that they will be following in the footsteps of Marvelous and Hazel, hopefully really soon. But things have been going really well for them, and we can't wait for more of our students to be working with the incredible Jamf support department. But we also have some students that haven't been hired by Jamf because they're actually being hired by other companies. So this is a picture of one of our students, Musi, And he was hired as a programmer analyst for one of our program partners, Mesa, who is a company based out of Minnesota. So when you ask the question of what happens when you follow through on a kinder to career program, well, our students become interns, who then get hired full-time as remote employees, making a difference in their local community and uplifting that community from within. So we've had an incredible presentation here today talking about the amazing things Alan is doing at Mesa Community College. And then we got into the K-12 space, what St. James has been doing with their Matter Innovation Hub. And then putting everything together, what if we could combine those two ideas, have a kinder to career program? What if we could build these students and train them for readiness in IT? That's what we're doing at the Matter Career Readiness Institute, and we have the employed students to prove it. So I want to thank you all so much, and if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the students that we have at the MCRI, we actually do have an incredible volunteer opportunity where you can connect with our 10 students on LinkedIn, and if you're willing to kind of engage with them and everything, we can talk a little bit more about that later, but you can come find us in the expo hall, and I would love to chat a little bit more about these students with all of you. So at this time, if there are any questions, Ashley is going to be running around with the microphone, and Ellen and I will do our best to answer any of the questions you may have.
Oh, someone has a question. There's got to be at least one question.
At least one question.
One question? Someone has a question.
I have a comment, actually. As you said earlier, most people in here are probably educated. I don't know if that's true. Right? Because I came in here probably for something else. And I can tell you, like, as a hiring manager at a very large company that does not have those financial restrictions that you might have, I love this. And I would love to see more of this. So I don't know what I can do to help make that happen. Probably not a lot. But if there is anybody in here that is also in education that also has influence, please do this so that I can hire better people. So,
You know, I can answer some of that, and this is,
Yeah.
and Kelly will probably agree. One of the things that is vital to these programs is partners, places for the interns to go. I mean, the larger the bank of places that are willing to take a chance are, the more chances there are, the more people that are in the program. And so we're working on some of that right now. I mean, luckily, Jamf is partnering with us on this work with Mesa Community College. Apple is also a partner in this work. One of the other things that Mesa is doing, kind of privy to this, is Apple is putting their entire support module program through our course catalog. So not only will the students learn Jamf, they will also learn all the Apple support essentials, iOS support essentials, the device support essentials, eventually the MDM support program. So all of that will be wrapped into that, but having channel partners, having people for these interns to go to, if you want to become something like that, or that's just something that makes these things even more valuable. Because the other part is when, and not that this is really the driving factor, but one of the things that happens, especially now with the baby boomers starting to retire and that cost value shifting down, but the skills of these kids, the skills of the people that are going to end up at the end of my program are significantly higher than even I was at that age. I think about 22, 23 years old with these type of skills, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And you get to grow in the company you're in for 4 or 5 years and become a real asset. I mean, I can't imagine what the people she's talking about are doing. I've already connected with some of them on LinkedIn. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm totally excited. I mean, in fact, if I get the chance, I'll probably hire one of them myself.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's good. It's cool stuff. Like I said, I didn't know what I was expecting when I came in here, but I'm happy I'm here.
Awesome, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Actually, I had one. I just wanted to know if there were any like Matter Hubs stateside. I work in an environment that we only would hire someone who's interested in doing hybrid work, so we'd have to have someone in the office at least part-time. So is there any other Matter Hub stateside that we would be able to pull people from or resources?
Great question. So we do have some Matter innovation hubs on the US side. They're all currently in Minnesota. And right now they are focused mostly on the K-12 side. We have been trying to get the Readiness Institute on the state side as well. It's been a little bit more challenging. Quite honestly, a lot of people here in the US, they like to throw up roadblocks because these are things that they can be doing. They have access to really great internet, which we take advantage of. And I know TC's probably, I can see her smiling at me right now. Good internet is really hard to find in some places. And so we just need other places to kind of be willing to go all in on this. And a lot of places are just very comfortable. And this is kind of an uncomfortable process, something a little bit different. But we would love to see this more places. And we can talk a little bit more later as well about maybe some opportunities. But as of right now, this is kind of more, it's mostly focused in Zimbabwe and providing opportunity to our students in that location. Great question. Any other questions? Maybe way in the back?
Yeah, hey, yeah, I'm going to echo a little bit of the sentiments of the first gentleman that commented. I'm also hiring right now, and the pool is not diverse, and I wish, and we can't solve that, I think, today, and these stories that you're sharing are phenomenal, and I think my question also kind of leads to what these two gentlemen have asked, so I'm not sure if I'm adding anything new here, but are you aware of any resources where us as a company can find programs like this? Like, these are two really great examples. Are there more in just than in just Mesa? Are there other locations? Or is there, I don't know if you guys have the answer to that, but sometimes we don't know where to look for these kind of talent pools and things like that.
So I know that in my industry, there is the Maricopa Technology Institute that has a slew of ready interns that are available in different areas of technology. There's programming, there's Cisco, there's Microsoft, there's our students. It's not widely known, but it's something that we're working on improving just for that same question. I mean, when we met with CDWG a couple of months ago, they'd asked us the same question, and we pointed them to the Maricopa Career Institute. I'm like, I didn't know this even existed. Well, now you know. So that's a great question. We're working on it. I know they're probably working on it. It's a tough ask because you have to be able to put things out where people can find them, but understanding that there might not always be 25 people in the pipeline. And so it's again, chicken and the egg. What do you do? But we're going to try.
And I think even kind of adding to that as well, just having all of you here and hearing that, yes, this is something that we find valuable, this is something that we are actively looking for, is going to help with these programs as well. If people hear that, hey, customers are looking for this and it's hard to find or we can't find it, it also makes it a little bit easier for us to be able to help you as well. And I think another program as well, Code to College, I think also is a really great program that might be worth looking into that provides internships and opportunities in the tech space as well that might be worth exploring. Great questions, everyone. You came prepared. Any other questions, comments? Or maybe your own anecdote?
Hi, more of a comment. For those of you who are also trying to find ways to get involved, you mentioned Code to College. They do take volunteers, and you can become a volunteer in many ways, all the way from just helping people with resumes to actually teaching classes and helping their students. So that's another great resource for anybody who wants to get more involved with this type of initiative.
Excellent. Thank you, Hector.
This one's going to be more specific. Thinking about the Matter Innovation Hubs, I also I think there might be someone at my company that might be interested in maybe investing in this. Is there someone we can talk to about that? Who's the best person to talk to about that?
Yeah, so we can chat about that once I'm not on the stage here.
Okay.
Chat a little bit about that, but Dave Saltmarsh, unfortunately, not able to be here, really miss him. My boss is the great person to ask about kind of some more nitty-gritty details, but I will do my best when we chat.
Thank you.
Of course. Uh-oh. Don't give him the microphone.
Thank you. So for those of us that are running user groups and those type of things, how can we, is there anything that you think we could do to improve diversity in those? So I run London Apple Admins, and we maybe have 3 female attendees, and we've been going for 5 or 6 years. So just wondering if there's any tips or anything, because I know that representation helps diversity, right? And we just
Representation helps. One of the things that I did in my organization is, I was lucky. The Scottsdale Community College has an event called Girls Get IT, and it's my favorite event to attend. I attend it every year because it's an opportunity for them to see me and for them to see that I'm interested in giving them opportunities, and then bringing those people in as we call them temporary workers. Actually, if I had my staff up there, 2 of my staff members came from an event similar to that, and so it's seeing the opportunities, having guest speakers, getting other people into the admin group, having one of the things that we do in in Phoenix, is we have the Phoenix Jamf Admins Conference. We had guest speakers. 2 of the guest speakers were women of color, and that was awesome. That's the type of thing that's going to help that, but you have to put people in front of people so they can see that it's possible.
Cool, thank you.
Great answer. Great question.
So I'm part of the IT field and not the education side of things. I think I'm just like the same gentleman here. I just wanted to see exactly, get some more information for myself and whatnot. I help facilitate a yearly youth group conference in the Bay Area, around the San Francisco area. Where can I get more information in regards to what your team does? That way I could help share this information with some of those groups that are out there.
Great question. So our marketing team actually just put together a landing page for the Jamf Community Education Initiatives. So we have a page that is in progress. It's not perfect yet, but we're going to be building on that, talking more about the Matter Innovation Hubs and then the Matter Career Readiness Institute, and some of the exciting things that I don't think I can talk about just yet, even though it's really hard not to. But some really exciting things coming down the pipeline on that page. And so I don't know what the URL is because it's not live yet, but if you just look for Jamf Community Education Initiatives, that's my department, and that is who focuses on the Matter Career Readiness Institute and the Matter Innovation Hubs at Jamf. All right, looks like we have a little less than 2 minutes before our time is up. Any other things that you just got to get off your chest?
Last call.
You've been a wonderful audience, by the way. Thank you so much for being so engaged. It's really a pleasure being up here with all of you.
It was. Thank you.